Alright guys, so for a while I've been testing a melee build that didn't really utilize a lot of the broken mechanics that are in Wonderlands. We got the Stabbo spell shot, we got Blast Chill being pretty broken, and I wanted to create a melee build that didn't utilize a lot of those broken mechanics. And it's kind of hard because you don't really know what's broken and what's legitimate. So I've been posting on my YouTube some testing videos of me going through the Chaos Chamber. There was two. There's one of me killing Parasite and Tangle Drift, and then there's one of me going through the Chaos Chamber. And I feel like my build is pretty balanced. Now those videos, that build that I was running, it got slightly modified. So I'm pretty sure this is the perfected build. So let's go over it. So obviously we want the slapping live wire of the wind. Not really the slapping part, but you want a live wire, some kind. The live wire shoots out an electrical bolt that connects enemies. This can trade dots between enemies and pretty much kill whole areas without you having to touch every enemy with your melee weapon. Next, we have the Wailing Banshee of Edginess. Now, this Wailing Banshee has dark magic, and for the build that I'm rocking, you're going to need the dark magic Banshee for survivability, because as you can see on the purple text down there, it says restore health via damage. That's very crucial for our survivability and the skills that we put into our skill tree. Rings, I think it was either Jolt's dude said it. There's not really that many good rings. The ones I rock is the Moon Ring and the Champion's Ring. Um, this one increases the effects of the ring by 100% when your ward is not full, and this one deals 100% when you deal damage to a boss. You get 100% of the effects as well. So I just rock those two all the time. I don't change these up. Our necklace, I rock the blood bag of the obsession. This one will refill, well, not refill, it will overcap your health. So essentially, when your health is full, it'll add to your health pool, which also increases our survivability. And on this, we got a pretty good roll. We got gun magazine size and status effect damage. This build is called the Stabeffect build. It's a melee status effect focused build, and our dots are going to be doing huge damage, as you will see when we jump down and kill the parasite. Dark magic is really strong in this because it not only does a lot of damage, but it also heals us for a portion of the damage we do. Now, somebody who watched my previous video on one of the testing videos suggested me use Bonk and Kachow on a Buffmaster. So, like 2 days ago, I was farming just gear and I got this, but I never used it. So, we're gonna jump down. We're gonna use it. I've used it before, and I think it does more damage than the Buffmaster I had before, which was the Knuckle Buffmaster. And the only reason I use this is because it has 2 charges. So if we could get this same Buffmaster with 2 charges, I'd be rocking that. A lot of people don't like using the Buffmaster, but it's in the game. It's a part of the build. It's not even really mainly used for damage, but it does have that damage increase on it. So it does help a lot, especially for bosses. Now, speaking of bosses, the Cursed Wit. I only use the Cursed Wit in bossing scenarios. Um, so you see when we're close to an enemy, we'll do 100% increased damage. It's ridiculous. There's no reason not to use it, except for survivability. But we'll get into that later. Now, a lot of people have been using Smart Armor. Um, and what's the other one? The Paradigm. I'm diving into the Ominous Intuition. This one converts 30% of our damage into dark magic damage, and it also gives us a 30% increase to our dark magic efficiency. This is great. Um, this this pretty much makes increases our survivability by tenfold. We're getting so much dark magic flowing into us. I'm not gonna say you're gonna be invincible, but you'll rarely die. So as long as you're swinging this Wailing Banshee, you'll be hitting multiple enemies, sapping their health, and it'll be coming straight to you, which is amazing. Now, as far as enchants go, the ones that I find that are crucial, I want these on all my shields, is elemental damage increased by 35. It melts compared to anything else like melee damage increase, damage increase, elemental damage. Since we're relying on our status effects to do damage, is just crazy. So that's what I suggest to get on at least one piece, and then your other ones you just want damage, melee damage. On this one, you got melee damage against bosses and badasses, and then damage dealt is fine as well. Now, other shields that you can use. Bad Egg is amazing on this because it gives us even more dark magic damage when our ward is depleted, and it gives us movement speed. Amazing shield. This is the one I suggest if you're mobbing. The desperate, well, not the desperate, but just the regular body rune I also suggest. And on the body rune, I would suggest getting this enchantment when health is below 50%, regenerate 5% max health per second, and gain 30% damage dealt. That is amazing enchant. If you can't find elemental damage or a damage thing, put this on your shield and then keep rolling. If you get this enchant, I think a lot of people just keep rolling and re-rolling. If you see an enchant that might be useful but isn't too good, just put it on there and then keep rolling. And then if you find a better one, put that one on. As far as our skills, I'm not really too knowledgeable on skills, so I'm just going to go over what I think is crucial. Any type of melee damage, any type of critical hit damage, that's what I dived into in this. Any type of damage in general, and then for the Stabemaster, we want all status effects. So this whole right side we want. On the Berserker part, this is a Stabemaster Berserker build, if you didn't know. We're going to be doing melee damage, we're going to be doing damage when we're close, and then we get damage reduction. And then we're going to put 1 point into this to get even more survivability by upping our max health. We got lucky with this. This gives us 9% movement speed and some frost efficiency, so stuff will randomly get frozen when we're applying all those status effects onto our onto the enemies. And then these 3 points right here, you can dump anywhere. You can dump them. I would suggest if you feel like you're dying too much, I would suggest go with this. If you want a little bit more mobility, I would go into elusive, and then maybe dump some. Just Executioner's Blade is just always good. You could go 1, 2, 3 right here, but I like this extra damage on semi-frozen enemies or slowed enemies. We get a little bit of damage increase there, so that's what I use. Now, as far as your skill, your action skill, just use From the Shadows. It's so strong. This is just Flak 2.0 right here. Use From the Shadows. These are good for mobbing situations, bossing situations, and mobbing situations. The cooldowns on these are so quick that you don't really need to, worry about your action skill cooldown. We do enough damage without From the Shadows to not worry about it. Myth rank, just dump your points wherever. I guess some highlighted ones would be strength and melee damage. Probably on Deadeye. I just don't know what to put here. Just whatever you have is fine. But let's go back to the skills and go to our hero stats. Obviously, you want to dump into strength and dexterity, and you can switch between status damage and skill cooldown. Like I said, we do enough damage, so if you want to reset this and get status damage, you'll probably do more damage overall anyways. So it's up to you. Health doesn't really matter. Spell cooldown doesn't really matter for us. We're not spell shots, so let's jump down into this boss arena and let's see what this build is capable of. So we're gonna get our Cursed Whip broke, pop our Buff Meister, boom, boom, boom. And mind you, I think Moxie made a video where he was using I think this was pre. Oh yeah, let's show off our Chaos level 2 to make sure. Chaos 35. But Moxie showed off a build video, which his build video made me want to create a kind of a video where he was using the Wailing Banshee, but he was using Echo. My Wailing Banshee just has Warrior, which increases our melee attacks, increase damage reduction and melee damage dealt by 10 seconds. I know you can't see it down there, but it stacks 5 times so we're getting 40% increased melee damage if we hit 5 times. So but that Echo build he had was crazy. He was like one tapping them, he was like bink, and their health bars were just depleting. But this is the build I rock. If you have any questions or have any comments on what might make this build better, just drop it down below. This build is kind of like, how I always wanted to play a melee character in Borderlands, and I'm glad they decided to give in and let us, have melee weapons and do this type of thing. But if you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you boys later. Peace out.